Hello and welcome back to Land Rover Land Rover Resto. Okay, I took from a previous video. I took the new replacement B pillar, C pillar, and the sill out. So I was thinking about the B pillar. As I had the piece on there and I was taking measurements and I was moving around, I actually had to move this over to the side to get it to line up straight. And the thing about Land Rovers is they're all bolted together. So this piece here going across is bolted, and I'll give you a better look or whatever, but the top of it's bolted too or whatever. So this is my logic and this is what I'm thinking. I'm going to show you on the other side what I'm going to do. All right, so here we are on the other side, and this is the opposite side where we cut off over there. And I want to get the B pillar as straight as possible. And you can see here, this is actually a perfectly straight line here, going all the way up to the top and to here. I'm thinking that, here, let me show you here with a straight edge here. Like, I took the straight edge, I put it on here, and it's straight the whole way up, whole way down or whatever. So I'm thinking about taking the B pillar out, taking this, unbolting this all together, the B pillar. And I'll show you here. See here, it's got 4 bolts that bolted up to here. So these 4 bolts, they're adjustable and you can move things around. And here with the bracket, you can move things around. So in the bottom, and I welded to the sill, I'll be able to move it around too. So I want to get this, the B pillar, as straight as possible that I can get it. And when you buy a replacement one, I bought the replacements for the bottom down here. But you can actually buy a whole piece from the top all the way to the bottom. Well, one piece, but that's like around over $200 just for this piece or whatever. Where the repair panel was only 50 bucks for the bottom one. So knowing that this is a straight line here from this passenger side one, I'm going to take this one out and I can work on a workbench and I can make it perfectly straight and flat, since I know where these bolts are from here to here down to the bottom hinge. So I'm going to go unbolt this one. We got 2 bolts here and 4 up on top. I'm going to take it out and bring it over to workbench. I'll be back. Okay, so we're outside with my straight edge here. This is a straight piece of board. It was actually part of a furniture. It's actually solid wood too, and it's like perfectly flat, this piece of wood. This is my little workbench for outside. So this is what I did, is I lined it up. I got these both at the same angle, which this is actually at a slight angle compared to that flat back. So that's on a little bit of an angle. So I got that, and then I have this set at the right angle, the correct angle, same angle as that. Then I measured from the top of this to here, top of this, I have a measurement. It goes from there to there. So I have that measurement right now. And what I did is I took a straight edge here on this side, straight edge here on this side, so it's all perfectly straight and lined up. So 3 of the sides are perfectly straight, as much as possible are perfectly straight, for a Land Rover at least. So they're perfectly straight. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a weld over here on the outside, put a weld here, and a weld over there. Tack weld this in place so then it's perfectly straight. So also, before I do that, actually, I'm going to cut this off a little bit up here so I can start lining up the top cover piece too whenever I go to put it back onto the truck. So this new technique of taking the whole pillar, I think this is going to work. So this is what I'm going to do for this one, and we'll see how it works out, but I feel comfortable that it's going to work. So I'm going to cut this off Then I'm going to clean up these and everything, and then do a couple welds on here to hold it together. Alrighty, I'll be back. Hello. Alright, now we're back. I welded it all up, got it all around, so I'm pretty happy with it, with the way it turned out. And on the board, it's totally flat. It's nice and flat on there, so that's straight. Take the straight edge, put it on here, it's still straight, doesn't move around or anything, so that's pretty straight. Over here, I kind of fudged up the weld a little bit, I think. I made it a little bit bigger. It doesn't fit. It kind of wiggles back and forth a little bit, you can hear it. But still, it's pretty straight all together. So I think this was a good idea to do it this way, to take it off and keep it, because there's no way I would have got it this perfectly straight on the truck. So it definitely worked out a lot better to get that straight. So after welding, I checked my measurement again from here to here, and we're still dead on. I'm almost thinking maybe I should just put this guy on here too while I'm already here and have it out. Let's see, it's more like that. Because then I can bring the seal right up in here. Once I put this back onto the truck, I could just bring the seal right up and push it up inside here, and we'll be set right there. So I'm thinking that's what I'm gonna do. Is I'm gonna put this on. You can see I cut it back just a little bit here and cleaned this all up here. So I do is just cut this off. I lined it up with that there. So the bottom, you got to make sure the bottom ones line up first. They're line up there, kind of. You can see it's longer than what it needs to be. So I'm going to trim this piece off. And while I wire wheeled the whole thing, I found this interesting. It looks like they actually brazed around, instead of welding, they brazed around it, the hole here, which is interesting. I didn't think of that, but I'm probably not going to do that. I'll probably put a couple welds around there to hold it in place, but I'm not going to be brazing it because I'm terrible at that. Okay, so I think it's coming together, the B pillar, so I'm pretty happy. Alrighty, I'll be back. Alright guys, I got the front plate on, and I got excited about how nice it turned out, so I bolted it right in. So I got fresh new bolts up here, which is really nice to put in now. And I welded on the front cover on there. And welded around these holes. And in the back, I did spot welds, or plug welds, down. Because I noticed in these, they actually had spot welds on here. But I did my usual plug welds going down, and then I did my little welds on the outside, which I always do because I don't really like plug welds. So there, I cleaned it all up, cleaned up the welds around too. They turned out pretty good, and I'm pretty happy. Bolts, of course, the top lined up, and I have 3 of the 4 bolts lined up down here, so I'm pretty happy with that. And I haven't done a fit up for the bottom or anything like that, but that'll come later on when I do the C pillar here. But actually, I'm going to start cleaning up all this rust and everything first. Clean up everything and paint it like all the outriggers. So then when I put that on, it'll be done behind it. I don't have to mess around with cleaning everything. So one little welding tip I'm going to say is it's an old trick. If you notice, whenever I had this apart sitting on the table, there was a pretty big gap in between here. Some of it was kind of close and some of it had a gap. What you do is, this is a piece of copper pipe, just your regular plumbing pipe, because welds don't stick to copper. Crushed it in a vise, and you would put it like this back behind your welds. You put it back behind there and you weld over top of it, and you kind of hold this tight to the back of your gap that's there, and you weld it. Your your metal won't blow out up here and blow out down here, because then it'll be able to fill in that space, and then this just comes right out. It doesn't even, the welds won't stick to copper. So you just stick it back behind there, then you could weld it in there, weld, 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 and slide it along as you're doing it, and move it along as you're moving, and weld, weld, and then you just keep going and you get them all in there. So there's the back side of it. So that's a good tip. Get a copper, crush it in your vise, and then it becomes a, it's a lifesaver, so you don't have to keep trying to weld over holes and everything like that when they blow out. Okay, so it's fully welded all around, bolted in. I'm pretty happy. I think that's definitely the trick, to get those to get in there, be perfect, or be aligned. So I'm pretty happy with that. So I'm probably going to do, when I do the other side, I'm going to do the exact same thing. I'm going to take it out because it seems to be a lot easier. And one other thing is, now that it's all together, I'm going to take it back off and I'm going to fill it up with rust inhibitor, core seal all inside of it so it doesn't rust. And then one other thing, you may be asking me, why are there holes, random holes already on the front of these? You can see with the red dot, because I wanted to line it back up again. What it is that the seals, the door seals, you can see how terrible they are. They're actually pop riveted on the whole way across, going around the door frame and coming down. These are pop rivets as well that just hold the seal in. They're not really there for support or to hold anything, because it's actually spot welded down the door frame. It's just there to hold the seal. You can see over here too. See, it's pop riveted. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually drill out all these and just put a regular pop rivet in there. Instead of these ones are, they got the round head on them like that, and it would have been like a smash type of pop rivet on there. So the early Land Rovers had pop rivet ones that hold the seals in, and that's why it's like that too. So I'll probably put pop rivets down the whole way, just so it looks original or right of some sort. But I don't think they're really required to actually hold anything, but I'm going to take them out anyways and put in pop rivets just in case if they are holding anything. But I did notice down here on the C-pillar that it does hold things in. So I'm going to put new ones in through here. Of course, that body panel there is going to have new ones. So pretty happy with that B-pillar. So that's definitely the way to go about it or whatever. I also measured this width in here. I measured the sill, and it actually is the exact same size, so we should be good. All right, everybody. Thank you for watching. This was kind of a boring one because all I did was work on one part of it, but I'm happy. And thank you very much for watching. Like, subscribe, share, comment below. I really appreciate it. I love all your comments. And have a great day. Have a great weekend. Have a great week. And I'll see you next time. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.